Welcome to the 49th edition of the Toronto International Film Festival.
We're thrilled to be here.
You are in for some crazy shit. Hey! Welcome to TIFF!
I can feel the excitement in the house. Woo!
Well, this is a bit exciting. There you are.
Wow, this is like an anxiety dream I had once.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here. This is fucking amazing.
I'm so pleased to be back at TIFF. You guys are the best audiences.
It's a fantastic audience. Thank you guys so much.
To be standing here tonight is a full circle event that is truly a dream come true.
I'm hopeful that movies inspire. Get popcorn, look at people, feel it together, have a conversation afterwards.
Thank you for hosting a festival that platforms films with such unique voices.
Hi, I'm I'm Senior Program Advisor, South Asia to the Toronto International Film Festival. And here at the festival, it's a very huge honor for us to have 11 films from South Asia and diaspora at the festival. Last year we had 14. So there's a huge interest also because the city, the country in general has a very high immigrant population, but Toronto in particular also has, I think it's almost 50% immigrants, of which South Asians are the largest group with 14%, and then there's Chinese at 10% and blacks at 9%. So also, so Toronto has always, the TIFF Festival has also had always a very long, very diverse, multicultural connection cinematically with the festival and its diverse population here.
अरे शौक पाल के क्या करेगा मालेगा ओ में तू मरेगा शौक पाल के क्या करेगा मालेगा ओ में तू मरेगा.
So the 11 films from South Asia. So we open some of the big guns, of course, are Superboys of Malegaon by Rima Karti, a wonderful film with Adarsh Gaurav and Shashank Arora and Vinit Kumar Singh. It's produced by Zoya Akhtar and it's based on the life of Nasir Sheikh from a small town Malegaon in Maharashtra.
बहुत खतरनाक आइडिया है मेरे पास. इधर ही पिक्चर बनाते ना. मालेगांव में. कुछ गुंडा हो गया क्या? अबे तू लूम में मजदूर है. मेरी खजूर की दुकान. फटे हाल रिसाले का दिल जला अदीब फरोख.
अदीब नहीं, अजीब हो तुम.
जन्म से बेरोजगार तू. पिक्चर बनाएंगे.
कोशिश तो करते हैं यार.
He kept doing these rip-offs of Sholay and other films, and on a no budget, and all featuring his family and friends, and the audience was family and friends. So it was very kind of a particularly personal and intimate connection with cinema. And this film is based on his life and tributes his cinematic imagination, but it's also tribute to friendships, and particularly to me it's really significant that it's honoring and celebrating a minority Muslim population in India, which is really remarkable given today's political scenario.
क्या ना कि मालेगांव में बहुत मच बहुत रोना धोना है यार. अबे जिंदगी में थोड़ी कॉमेडी, थोड़ा हंसना जरूरी है ना.
लड़के वालों की लाइन लगा रखी अब्बू ने.
टेंशन मत ले. ठीक है ना?
ठीक है.
हो सकता है भाई.
ये ऑडिशन है?
हाँ ना.
मालेगांव में ना खाली एक ही चीज की कमी नहीं है, इंसानों की.
इसलिए इधर बना रहा ना मैं. इधर के लोगों के लिए, इधर के लोगों के साथ.
सिर्फ प्रोड्यूसर का टाइटल चाहिए.
बेशक.
अरे मालेगांव पर जानना किसको है? क्योंकि उनके लिए हमारे जैसे लोग बेईमान हैं.
न जुबान आती, न दुनिया का कायदा आता, बस लोगों का फायदा उठाना आता तुझे.
तेरे को लगता है तू बहुत बड़ा ओरिजिनल आर्टिस्ट है ना?
हाँ हूँ मैं.
पीछे नहीं हटने को. सिर्फ तो तेरी पिक्चर बना तो समझा ना.
दोबारा मिलेंगे कभी. अभी कोचिंग भी तो करना चाहिए.
वो मालेगांव की पब्लिक. गर्मा गर्म एक पे चार आंगे.
वो देख जादू का पंछी. एक दिन उड़ूंगा इसमें मैं.
In the special presentation, we had Payal Kapadia's exquisite film, All We Imagine Is Right.
ഇത് പ്രവേശിക്കാണല്ലോ.
ഇതിപ്പോ ആരയക്കാനാ? ഒന്നും കാണുന്നില്ല.
മെയ്ഡ് ഇൻ ജർമ്മനി. ചേച്ചിയുടെ ഹസ്ബൻഡ് എവിടെയല്ലേ?
लास्ट टाइम कभी फोन किया था उसने? 1 साल से ऊपर हो गया.
South India, working in Bombay in a hospital, and their friendship with a cook in the hospital, and their loneliness, their dreams and desires, and how they cope in the city. But it's also very political in a very delicate way, but unspoken, but you see that clearly.
കൊട്ടൊരേത്തൊരാളെ എങ്ങനെ കല്യാണം കഴിക്കാം കൊണ്ടൊന്നും പറ്റുമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. അതിനെൻ്റെ മോനെ രാത്രി വരെ കാത്തിരിക്കേണ്ടി വരും. പക്ഷേ തൽക്കാലത്തേക്ക് ഞാൻ ഈ മേഘത്തിൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ കുറച്ച് ഉമ്മ കൊടുത്തു വിട്ടാലോ?
എന്തൊക്കെ ഇതിനെ പറ്റി ഇവിടെ ആൾക്കാർ പറഞ്ഞു നമുക്കത് വിചാരമുണ്ടോ?
എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ ചെക്കന്മാരുടെ ഫോട്ടോസൊക്കെ അയക്കുന്നുണ്ട് കല്യാണത്തിന്.
It's also about the dispossession of marginalized people, of women who have very little rights. It's about kagas. So in India, it's like kagas nahi dikhenge. Like, where are your papers, right? It is to do with identity, to do with land. It's also commenting on how it's a very feminist film also about how women very rarely have rights to property, like their wives and their mothers and their grandmothers and daughters and sisters, but their name is very rarely on property. It's always the men's, and it's also commenting on that. So she's very, very thoughtful, politically savvy, poetic. Very complicated to have all this in one film, but she does it so beautifully, and that's why she deserves all the acclaim she has.
काही लोक बोलतात स्वप्नाचं शेर आहे, काही तर माया नगरी आहे.
இந்த மாயை நம்பணும், ஆனால் உனக்கு பைத்தியம் பிடிச்சிடும்.
നീ ഭാവിയെ പറ്റി ചിന്തിക്കാറുണ്ടോ?
हम दोनों का सेम है सिस्टर, एक राजीव सदाशिव ऐसा. ऐसा लगता है ये जगह है ही नहीं, गायब हो जाओ तो किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा.
हमें पता चलेगा.
There's also Sandhya Suri Santosh, a very powerful film, again with very strong women protagonists, which Shahana Goswami and Sunita Rajwar, playing these policewomen investigating the rape and murder of a Dalit teenager in North India. So the storyline is very powerful, but it's very well researched and it's totally into the system. And it talks about how the deep influence, the connection between casteism and justice, and how rarely it is that the low caste get justice. And also, so therefore very political as well, very socio-political, very well made film, which is also at Cannes in the years of that regard.
तेरे जैसी औरतों के लिए सरकार की एक स्कीम है जिसे आश्रित कोटा कहते हैं. मतलब कि पुलिस वाले की विधवा होने के नाते तुझे रमन की नौकरी मिलेगी. रमन के जैसे.
देविका पीपल, उम्र 14-15 साल, माता पिता राम पीपल, रानी पीपल, लालीपुर गांव में मजदूरी करते हैं. शव कल गांव के कुएं में मिला था.
कैसे आया यहाँ पे?
लाटों ने फेंक दिया.
ऐसा क्यों करेंगे वो?
आप लोग भी हर चैनल पे छाए हुए हो, बधाई हो. हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया, डटी रहिए दीवान जी.
आंखें बंद कर, सांस ले, सांस छोड़. शुरू करना, मुसलमानों का गढ़ है. इस देश में दो तरह के छुआछूत है. एक वो जिसे कोई छूना नहीं चाहता, और दूसरा वो जिसे कोई छू नहीं सकता.
Fantastic film that just came in from the Venice Film Festival. It's a French film made by a Sri Lankan Tamil of descent, but he is French born, and it's partly autobiographical, but also he's director and actor, the main actor, and it's about these two rival Tamil gangs, criminal gangs in Little Jaffna in Paris, and he's actually an undercover cop set up to infiltrate and kind of help destroy the movement, because it's funding the Tamil Liberation Tigers movement for liberation in Jaffna in Sri Lanka during the Civil War. And as he integrates into the Tamil community to do his job, he really has a conflict of conscience, conflict of interest. Is he a conflict of identity? Is he more Tamil? Is he more French? It's partly autobiographical. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just gorgeous because it's a crime drama. It's a thriller. There's a love story. It's talking about illegal human trafficking. So it's many things, but fundamentally about land and identity. And it's very beautifully done and really deserves a huge audience. And then in the Discovery section, we have this gorgeous, gorgeous film from Bangladesh, Sabah, by Maqsood Hussain, starring the absolutely lovely Mezzabin Chaudhry and the very, very distinguished Mustafa Manwar and Ruqayya Prachi. And it's a film about a young working woman who takes the sole burden of looking after her aging mother, who is paraplegic. And so it's really for me part of the, not a new wave, that it's been a long time interest, but it's very interesting to me when men make films that are really feminist with very strong women characters, honoring them, valorizing them, sensitive to their feelings. And Mezzabin does a magnificent job, and it was deeply moving. I think there wasn't a dry in the audience. Everybody was just weeping, and Mezzabin herself, when she had a Q&A, she was completely in tears, revisiting it and seeing it on the big screen after a long time after they shot the film. Very deeply moving.
এইভাবে তাকা থাকো না, গোসল তোমার করতেই হবে।
পানিতে গুয়ের গন্ধ।
এখন তো তোমার জ্বর নাই যে গোসল করবে না।
সাপ্লাইয়ের পানির সাথে গুয়ের পানি মিশা গেছে।
আম্মু, গোসল তোমার করতেই হবে।
না,
নালে তোমার থেকে গন্ধ আসবে। ওঠো।
না,
উঠাও। লাল বানাই ফেলছে, দেখো। এরকম করলে 1 মাস কাচ্চি দিব না।
Then we have two other films which are, there's two, from India we have Boom, which is this exquisite film by Lakshmi Priya Devi in Manipuri, again a mother-son story. And it's actually talking about the social political issues there, but in a very personal way through a family story. And so of course you're aware that there's a lot of incredibly violent racial strife, the ethnic violence there between the Meiteis, Kukis and many other ethnic groups that make up Manipur and throughout the northeast actually. It's some of the towns where she shot in More, which is a border town with Myanmar. It's been kind of really destroyed, and the people there, some of the cast and crew, including the boy. So the mother is played by Bala Hijam, and the boy is Gugun Kipgen. And Gugun, I believe his home has been destroyed, and the team wants to see the film because it's their last memory of what remained. Whereas now they're kind of living in relief camps, and the school has been destroyed, the home has been destroyed. So it's also in an uncanny way become a kind of historic testament and a historic document, although it started off as a fiction story. So it's really very close to the bone there, and beautiful film. And then there are two South Asian diaspora films also on Discovery. One is Durga Chu Bose's Bonjour Tristesse, which is Hello Sadness. It's an adaptation of François Sagan coming-of-age novel that was very famous and also adapted to the film by Otto Preminger. And Durga brings her own view, a view of the same story. It's basically about Cecile, who's holidaying with her playboy father in the French, very gorgeous countryside. It's all blue sea and rocky, craggy things and gorgeous bikinis and the good life, in other words. And a lot of sexual tensions, sexual betrayals, and it's all of this seen through the eyes of a teenage, beautiful young woman. And then we have Amarwala's Shuk. Amarwala is a Bombay-born, Toronto-based filmmaker making a film set in the suburbs of Toronto about a young man who dreams of being a writer, but is also that also has to care for his father, who is diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And actually Parkinson's, so which makes it very difficult for him to cope on his own. It's a separated family. He's also looking to reunite his family. And then then in TIFF Classics, we have two films. One is Raj Kapoor's Avara, 1951 film, beautifully restored by the NFDC, NFAI, National Film Archives of India. And it's a 4K restoration, it's a world premiere. And it's very interesting how a 1951 film, which is primarily a film about social reform, but also about, it's all packaged in a masala format with a lot of song and dance, written by K. Abbas, who's, kind of very closely affiliated with the Communist Party of India, and these were an era of socialist filmmaking in India soon after independence. It was part of that generation of filmmakers. It's very interesting how relevant it still remains in 2024. It's a beautifully restored print. Although Shekhar Kapoor, who is director of the National Film Festival of India under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, presented the film here and he said the restoration wasn't fully complete. There was still some sound to be restored. But it's very, very challenging to get film from this print, this negative, that, to get visuals and sound from multiple sources to get one final print that is restored. It's a kind of a detective game actually finding all these sources. And then the other film was Srinivas Krishna's Masala. He's an Indian origin, Toronto-based filmmaker for a long time, and this was a film he made a very long time ago. It's also an 4K restoration here. And the last but not the least is a wonderful short film in shortcuts called Sona Day. It's an India-Estonia collaboration between Anna Hinz and Tushar Prakash. Tushar Prakash from India, Anna Hinz from Estonia. And this is a kind of a sequel to their wonderful feature and documentary Smoke Sauna Sisterhood, which was superb, and it actually won a Best Director at the Sundance Film Festival, and it won Best Documentary at the European Film Awards. And this is a sequel. It's basically looking at men in a sauna who are naked, who are vulnerable. It's looking at intimacy, it's looking at queer relations, it's looking at a lot of intimacies without words, just body language, beautifully shot with a lot of, it's saying a lot while saying very little. It's deeply resonant, and we're very proud all in all to have 11 films from South Asian diaspora. It's a very amazing year for us, and thanks to TIFF for that. And Robin Citizen, who's the director of programming, so all in all it's a good year.
I've seen a few good movies.
How's the Indian films?
Yeah, Indian film, all we imagine is like regarding the thread of the movie. It was actually very good. And Super Boys of Malegaon is really an inspiration for the new filmmakers. So it's the story of a no-budget movie with the help of the community, and anyone could make a good movie. Or if you have a mind to make a movie, then nothing comes in between. Nothing comes in that way. That's what I felt altogether.
8,000 रुपए वाली
2 मिनट है आपके पास? अरे बस एक बात करनी थी।
ठीक है। एक घंटे पहले तो बात हुई है।
दिल कर रहा था मेरा तो 1 घंटा इंतजार कर लिया, इसमें ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता।
हम अगर किसी को कुछ नहीं पता चलेगा।
मैडम वो लड़का पकड़ लिया जी। लड़का?
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं। देखा? क्या?
नमाज की पाबंद है आप? 5 वक्त की नमाज, रोज़ा, हज, ज़कात ईमान की कमजोरी को दूर करता है।
I think we got 11 films
selection is supervisor Malikom. It's a very nicely executed visual, and just a out of the box thinking. These guys have really, turned into a beautiful script. And all that, sort of a little ragtag team, but they've done a great job. Then other film from India, or related to South Asia, the Shuk was there, and then Little Jatna is a beautiful film. It could be set in Scarborough, about the Tamil problem in the diaspora and their support for the struggle back home. Then there was this year we got Avara, which was screened 3-4 days back. Raj Kapoor's 1951 sort of blockbuster, which remains the biggest blockbuster from India in overseas markets. Beautifully restored and